It's Dr. Tony, and I am excited to share the message today because you need to hear from someone who loves to quit. That's all I do. The only reason why I can have three successful careers, two marriages, a baby way, way past when most people would have a kid in college, is because I've quit, but it has to be strategic. And when you look at today's news headlines, it just reinforces what I was already saying, ladies. Do you realize that records are being broken right now by women pioneers who realize that, wait a minute, the rules that have been in the game aren't working for me? The number one person in front of me right now, there's two, but one in particular is Simone Biles. This lady said, you know what? Y'all mistreated me. You worked me to death against all odds. I was still excelling and you tore me down. She said, you know what? I'm going to go and take a break. I'm going to step away from this brutal sport where I'm being mistreated, overworked, overstressed. My body is taking the hit. She had the twisties, which is when it's partially a mental block, right? But when you're doing those twisting maneuvers, and she's got this Yurchenko move that is like wicked, it's not even got a score yet. That she wasn't able to do anymore because she was just like, I got to sit down somewhere. She got a bronze medal and said, you know what? I'm going to take some time off. This lady is killing it now. She's married. We watched her beautiful journey of getting engaged, getting married to an NFL player. And she's just chilling and smiling and enjoying life and owning her own studio. So she quit following the rules, quit following the path that was laid out for her, all the things that the mentors told her to do. And now she's owning her own path. She's a business owner. She sued those folks in the gymnastics world who hurt and harmed her and her other fellow teammates with the physician taking advantage of folks and touching folks inappropriately. And do you know this lady just came back and beat them all? Took 2 years off, sat down somewhere. Oh, you're gonna be too old. Don't take time off. How many times have you heard that in your working life? Oh, don't go away. Don't sit down. Don't take a break. You know, when you break from your training right before you go into training. So you've been in college, you go to med school, and then they don't want you to take a break between your finishing your training. You've been in school like 12 years. They don't want you to take a break between med school or between your graduate program and starting work. There's all this pressure to keep going. The suicide rate is so doggone high. I promise you, if they were doing it right, we wouldn't lose people every single year. 300 to 400 physicians, colleagues of mine, die every year because they listen to other people. So I'm going to ask you to stop listening to other people who don't have what you want. And I'm talking about joy. Okay. So, one thing you have to quit is the status quo. Quit believing what they say when you see something different. They're saying, oh, look, I'm successful. I'm where I want to be. Don't you want to be like me? No, you're an alcoholic. No, you're having marital issues. No, you don't have any joy when I see you. And when I ask you what you're doing in your time off, I don't want to do that stuff. Sit around and do more work. Sit around and have no relationships because I've used up all of my currency working, all of my emotional currency, all of my vacation time off working. So I'm going to encourage you to quit the status quo, the thinking like status quo. Do you realize that I didn't realize this. There's a break dancing category in the Olympics for women. I had no idea this was an Olympic sport, y'all. But doesn't it go to show yet again that it may be new, it may be different. But if you're walking around with a gold medal, it's just going to help you get everything else you need, including endorsements. College students now can get paid without even going to the NBA or some other professional level sporting. They can actually get endorsements and get paid right now. So let's stop teaching our kids that they have to follow the rules. Let's stop teaching our kids that they have to follow what they've seen decades before. It's okay to encourage them to stop thinking like everybody else and make something new that's different. As an executive coach who deals with women who follow a checklist in order to get where they're going, I coach a lot of good girls. Girls don't win. The people winning are the ones taking advantage of your good girl mentality. I know you don't want to hear that. Why am I laughing? Because it's true. And I've said this before, so I'll say it again. Quit the rules. The rules are all about control. They're all about getting you to believe that that's how you have to do things. Sacrifice. Take a lower pay. Oh, I got to work for a lower rate and then I can get a bigger rate later. None of this is true. So they are banking on you believing and thinking that you have to suffer to be worthy. You have to suffer in order to win. You have to work twice as hard. Have you ever heard that you need to work twice as hard to get half as far if you're a woman or if you're a minority? Or we've all heard it, but is it really true? No. The rules of always equal control. And I'm going to ask you to be more mindful that everything you were taught as a child, everything you've been taught growing up, was usually because somebody wanted something from you, not because they were really, truly trying to help you. And the ones who were, they were coming from a place of lack. They were coming from a place of scarcity. How do you know it's time to quit scarcity thinking and quit taking advice from scarcity people? They speak fear. They speak shame. It's very common in church, for example. Well, oh, look at her. Look what she's wearing. Shame. Now I'm happy that there are more church environments where wear what you want, come as you are. Well, isn't that the point? So you've got to be very careful when stressed, depressed people try to give you a perspective. Quit believing that there's only one way to do something. That's why I exist, because my colleagues would not leave me alone. They kept coming up to me. Well, how did you pull that off? I've never seen anybody do that. I said, well, I just kept putting one foot in front of the other and followed my own ideas. I wasn't trying to be like them. It wasn't looking like a good idea. One other thing y'all need to quit being loyal. Quit being loyal. I ran into an old colleague of mine, just minding my business, visiting home. My hometown is Pennsylvania. This was a little while ago, but it still sticks in my mind like crazy. And I said, hey, wow, it's been several years since we saw each other. Used to work at the same place. And even then, I was doing my own thing. I was in school and I didn't tell anybody that I was in school. Why? Because these aren't my people. Most of the time, I'm just there stopping over, getting from point A to point B. So I was working for an agency as a CNA, which is very unusual for someone who's in med school, but I had my own plan. My plan was to move on from a marriage that wasn't working for me, a educational path that had gotten disrupted. My grades had slipped as a result, not my grades in class, but my board exam was elusive at that point, and I needed to reevaluate. But I didn't want to believe that I couldn't get it on my own, doing it my way, because doing what they told me to do got me in trouble. All right. This chick was still working at the same organization that I was working at part-time years ago. I said, man, you must be the director by now. Oh, no, I'm still there making, same thing they were making before, 10 cents more an hour. Being loyal is the quickest way to the bottom. Loyal meaning, yes, you can be a worker that they count on. Yes, you can be someone who sticks with an organization, but you better have your negotiation hat on. That's something that I can help you with. All right. I have colleagues. If I can't do it, one of my colleagues would be happy to do it. I used to do it for a living. You understand? You can't be loyal if you want to climb the ladder of success most of the time, unless you can do the math. The math is you have to be able to get 30% more at the organization you're going to. So working harder, you think that's loyalty. It's actually you being a martyr. It's you giving away your time for free. You working off the clock and thinking it's going to come back to you in a raise or some sort of promotion. Not true. This is how they get you in trouble. So when I'm talking to this lady and she's telling me she didn't go back to school, I said, but don't they have tuition reimbursement? Yeah. I said, well, what about The hours, are you working a better shift now? Because we used to work this 3 to 11 shift, which works for me, but it was not working for her family. Nah, I'm still doing that, waiting for my turn to do what? um did you decide to become a supervisor? None of the answers were yes. Staying in the same place, doing the same thing, and at a higher value, because she was very good at her job, very efficient, and really kept a lot of the people there wanting to come back, wanting to continue to invest in their family member being cared for there, because the care there was great, but it was at the expense of a lot of the workers that I'm talking about. All right. And the third thing that winners have to do if they want to win, quit downplaying your skill. Undervaluing your skill set, undervaluing your skills, downplaying your ability, trying to not be in the spotlight because you're an introvert. I've heard it all. Downplaying your skills is the quickest way to underpaid, overwork, stress to the max, and your opportunities start to disappear because no one even realizes that it's something you want to do. The best way to win is to attract opportunity. You can't attract opportunities if nobody knows that you want them, or that you're ready for them, or that you're interested in them. All right. So when I'm in my group, I was just talking with my group. I'm going to be going in tonight for my women's group. If you want to join us, let me know. It's a burnout makeover group. We are making sure that we don't wait for anybody. If you want to get around people who have already done it, a community is something you have to build around yourself in order to make that happen. Talking to the old people is not the way to do that. Okay. Um, but I find that women, when I say, hey, tell me a little bit about what you guys are up to, you don't, even in an interview, y'all are not playing up the things you do well. So it's hard for me to know what opportunities to send your way, what people to connect you to, because you're always sitting low key. Man, this is a recipe for being overlooked every time. I'm also concerned that your imposter syndrome is making you think, well, who am I to say that? Or who am I? Maybe I could use more experience, etc. None of these things. You have to be your number one fan so other people can get on board. I'm the number one person who will be happy to help you get out here and get what you really want, but you downplay it. I had clients recently send me over some vision boards. I was like, what is this crap? I said it in a loving way. But real talk, they were sending me vision boards of things they knew they could achieve, things they'd already done, or things that were already in the works. That is not the vision. You're already on mission if you're with me. The problem is you don't see yourself at the mountaintop. You see yourself in this low position. You see yourself as an adjunct instead of the star of the show. And I don't mean that in a I have to be the center of attention. I mean, how can anyone help you achieve the real goal in your heart, or the one that you were meant to do as your purpose in this life, if you don't open your mouth and tell us what that might look like? It doesn't have to be something you know how to do, but do not downplay your dream. Do not downplay your vision. Do not downplay your ability to get to where you want to go just because right now it's not 100% clear. The path will appear when you're able to tell us what it is. And people like myself, I do this all day. I accelerate people's dreams into reality. I actually had a wonderful conversation with one of my clients who's midway through my program. She said, I can now envision it being real, not just some dream, not just some idea from the past. I actually believe that I'm going to get it, and I have a real path towards my goal. And I say, yeah, and let's accelerate that by doing more of the things that you care about, but stop downplaying your dream, your vision, your skills in the future, and absolutely don't be loyal. 30% raise is the only reason to leave. It is the reason to leave. Most people who leave, they're going to get a 30% upgrade. And I have clients who have doubled, you hear me? Doubled their rates and work less. My mantra was work less, make more, babe. If you can at least know that that's what you desire in your heart, we can go build it. But if you can't say that that's what you want to do, hey, I want to vacation more. I want to do more speaking engagements. I want to have a more romantic relationship. I want to get a makeover, whatever it is. But if you do not articulate it, if you don't think you're worth it, If you don't believe that it can happen for you, it's going to be a whole heck of a lot harder. But I know for a fact that being around other women who support and believe in you when you don't is the secret sauce, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing less and less one-on-one coaching, more and more group, because all the women in my group are the cream of the crop. We're talking the top 5%. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to downplay it. I want them to hear me say, y'all are the cream. You're the top 5%. Forget the 10%. You're the top 5. You know why? Because they're good people and they're talented and they're skilled and they're going for it. There's not a lot of that in the world today, and this is why I'm bringing y'all together. It's Dr. Tony, your board certified physician, certified executive coach. That used to be a dream, by the way. That was my come up plan from that divorce. Trust me, I'm not kidding. I didn't aim low, I aimed high, and I want that for you. If you want to enjoy your career life, your work life, your home life, and do impossible things like have babies at 40 something years old when you really aren't supposed to, call me. It's the stuff I do all the time. And I really want to tell you, the people who are in your ear, they don't know what they're talking about. And if they don't believe in you, and maybe you don't either, I do. Have a great day. Inbox me if you need me. We'll see you next week.